we back. Now today we're playing something I like to call, did he live up to the hype? Oh yeah, NBA prospects come into their careers with a little bit of hype behind them. And especially because NBA draft experts always have some sort of comparison for them. A lot of people live up to the hype and a lot of people don't. I'm looking at you, Deshaun Stevenson. Deshaun Stevenson, his hype was so wild. They compared him to none other than Michael Jordan. He didn't really live up to the hype. This should be a lot of fun. I gotta say shout out to Ryan for sending this my way. I'm pretty sure he was the one that created it too, so shout out to you. And before we get to a shout out to the sponsor of this video. SeatGeek is an app that aggregates tickets from all over the web to make buying simple. It is the best way. Every game that I've been to has been through SeatGeek because they let you know what deals are good deals, meaning green, and bad deals, meaning red. And also they score. If you can get a ticket with 100% score, that means it is the best deal imaginable. So shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this video. In the description, there's a link that you can get $20 off your first purchase, or you can just type KOT4Q at checkout. Did this NBA player live up to his NBA draft comparison? First one is Anthony Davis being compared to Kevin Garnett. All right, we starting off with a big one, So Kevin Garnett is one of the best power forwards of all time, Won MVP, won a championship there in Boston, many time all defensive first team, second team, one of the best defending big men that we've ever seen. Anthony Davis, that was some big shoes to fill, being compared to one of the greatest ever. But I gotta say, he has not lived up to the hype just yet because he has not surpassed Kevin Garnett on the all-time list, but I think he will. Eventually he will be in that conversation with the KGs and the Karl Malones, or just all the Tim Duncans, all the great power forwards we have seen in this league. I think Anthony Davis is on the path to be in the same conversation as those guys. Think about it. Kevin Garnett won his MVP when he was 27. Anthony Davis is 25. And though he has not won an MVP, he puts up MVP type numbers. His team just doesn't succeed like normal MVPs does. But you never know. In a couple years, Anthony Davis could win an MVP if his team continues to be good. Like, they just had one of the best seasons they've ever had with Anthony Davis. And if they take another step and Anthony Davis' numbers stay relatively the same, boom. He did just lead the league in blocks, was top 5 in scoring. The guy is a baller. So did he live up to? He will. He will definitely live up to this hype. Again, when it's all said and done, he will be considered one of the better power forwards of all time. Did Marcus Smart live up to his draft comparison of Eric Bledsoe and Jarrett Jack? That's weird. I don't know about the Jarrett Jack one, but the Eric Bledsoe one is pretty spot on, man. He's a guy that, in Eric Bledsoe's prime, he was a pretty good defender. He may not be that necessarily right now. And it's weird because I say in his prime. It's not like Eric Bledsoe's old or anything, but he's not as good defensively as he once was, right? So he was one of those players that would get nitty gritty and defend well. And we know Marcus Smart is one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. So will he live up to the hype? I look at Eric Bledsoe as like a tier 2, maybe tier 3 point guard. Like he definitely is good enough to be your starter, but he's not going to be a guy to lead your team. And I think Marcus Smart may be in that same realm. But right here in Boston, they got him playing more off the ball than on the ball. It's more of like a shooting guard or whatever. I'm going to say Marcus Smart will probably end up living up to the hype. It's just about opportunity. Like right now, he's getting a lot of opportunity considering all the injuries they have going on there. He could be a starter on some other teams in this league for sure, just not on Boston. And I think he's probably fine with that because they're ring chasing right now. They one game away from being in the championship. Next, James Harden was compared to Caron Butler. Did he live up to the hype? Oh yeah, oh yeah. That's a weird comparison to me. So James Harden was drafted high in the lottery, so people knew he was gonna be good, but I don't think people expected him to be a future MVP, So did he live up to the hype? Yeah. Shout out to Caron Butler, aka Tough Juice. Amazing book. Next, Blake Griffin was compared to Carlos Boozer. That's a little weird to me because we know Blake Griffin is one of the most athletic, at least in his prime, one of the most athletic players we've ever seen. Carlos Boozer ain't the athletic freak. So that comparison is kind of weird to me. But if we were ranking our all-time players, I would say Blake Griffin is probably higher than Carlos Boozer. Boozer had his years in Utah. I think he was like a one-time all-star. Got all the money to come here in Chicago and was just But Blake Griffin, multiple-time all-star. There's a period of time when he was in MVP conversation. So I got to say he did live up to the hype. But it's kind of weird because I don't see the comparison there. Next, okay, Dwight Howard. I would guess his comparison is similar to like I don't know, what's a great defending big man? Because that's basically what he was, you know? They compared him to Kwame Brown. Did he live up to the hype? Oh, yeah. Kwame Brown, though? That's wild. Because, you know, Kwame Brown just wasn't that good. Dwight Howard was. I gotta say it, every time we talk about Dwight Howard, man, he may not be one of the top tier centers anymore, but there's a period of time when he was like the best center in the league. Was it 3 to 4 time defensive player of the year? Led a team all the way to the championship with him being the guy. He had freaking Jameer Nelson as a starting point guard who wasn't a all-star a year because of he was playing with Dwight, you know? So Dwight was the man. Some of you younger guys just don't know it because it was kind of before your time. But Dwight was a baller. He's gonna be an Hall of Famer without a ring. LeBron and Magic Johnson. Wow, that's crazy because this is a comparison that people throw out all the time, you know? Just think about that. An 18-year-old coming out of high school was compared to one of the greatest of all time. He was compared to the greatest point guard of all time. Look at that hype. Did LeBron live up to it, if you ask me? Yes. Yes, people compare LeBron to MJ all the time, but I'm sorry, I forget who it was. Somebody mentioned the fact that LeBron should probably be more compared to Magic Johnson, considering their games are similar. Their size is very similar. Magic Johnson was classified as a point guard, but we know he played all 5 positions, you know? Same thing with LeBron James. There are some lineups where LeBron is the center, and there are some lineups where LeBron is the point guard bringing the ball up the court. So I think that comparison is way more right than like compare LeBron and MJ. You feel me? So I do have LeBron as my second best player of all time. Again, it's all my opinion. And I have Magic top 5. So did he live up to the hype? Yeah, he surpassed Magic. Next, Bradley Beal is compared to Eric Gordon. I kind of dig that one. Yeah, I kind of dig that one. He definitely lived up to the hype. Before Eric Gordon had this injury-prone seasons and everything, he was pretty good. He was pretty athletic, too. I mean, we still get glimpses of it today, but like prime Eric Gordon was really athletic. But I definitely see the comparison. I would say Bradley Beal lived up to it, though. Next, Paul George was compared to Rudy Gay. That's a pretty good one. That's almost spot on as far as like the way they play the game of basketball, both being like lengthy perimeter guys who also can play some really good defense. And again, we're talking about prime Rudy Gay, not so much today's Rudy Gay, because coming back from that Achilles, it wasn't the same. But prime Rudy Gay for sure. And I think Paul George did live up to it and surpass Rudy. But I like that comparison a lot, so I'm gonna vote yes. Did or will Terry Rozier live up to the hype of Kemba Walker and Eric Bledsoe? Another Eric Bledsoe one. I think that's a pretty good comparison there. Scary Terry has been on the tear these playoffs, man. It's opportunity. Kyrie Irving is out. Somebody need those point guard minutes, and Scary Terry has been the guy. I can see these comparisons because there are periods of time in this championships where he had the DNA of like Kemba. Kemba's a really clutch NBA player. We've seen Terry Rozier hit some really clutch shots. I'm looking at what was that game 1 against the Bucks in the first round, or game 2 or something like that. He had a game tire or a game winner or whatsoever. So he has that DNA where he's like, you know what, give me the ball and I can give us a bucket that Kemba Walker has. And defensively, he's got the Eric Bledsoe. So I can see the comparison. He's definitely not on their level just yet. But could he? For sure. Somebody's going to pay Terry Rozier after next season because of what he's doing right now. And then we will see him as a starting PG. But right now we just won't, because as soon as Kyrie Irving come back, you could probably guess that Kyrie Irving is going to be starting again. But I think he could live up to that hype. He definitely showed that he could probably end up being a starter in this league someday. So, yes. Markelle Fultz is compared to James Harden. That's in big shoes, man. Again, I don't watch college ball, right? So my only frame of reference for Markelle Fultz are the few games he played before the injury, which was, 6 games or 9 games, and then the few games he played after the injury. And I'm going to say, based off that and that alone, I'm going to say he won't live up to James Harden because, again, James Harden, MVP. I don't think Markelle Fultz ever get there, but that's not saying he won't be good either, because he could definitely be good without being James Harden, because, again, James Harden is the man. So I'm going to say Markelle won't live up to the hype. I hope he proves me wrong. I like when people live up to the hype or get better than what they were expected to do. So that's it. Again, thanks to Ryan for creating this and sending my way. Shout out to SeatGeek again for sponsoring this video, and shout out to you for getting to this point in the video. If you're here, you obviously like something, right? So leave a like on it, and I'll see y'all Saturday. Peace.